Man, I wish I was that rock. It's time to spin the wheel. What will it be in today's episode of Thing, but with women? Place your bets. There's no going back. Let's just cut to the chase, okay? Ruri Rocks is a horrible name for an English speaker, and also Instagram's newest favorite anime, and it's the newest iteration of Thing, but with women. And this time, it's about rocks. I know it feels like we've been here before, but trust me on this one. And you see, I might say newest favorite anime, but the truth is simply that once again, I am terribly late to everything. Before this, I was gonna talk about Uma Musume, and before that, I was gonna talk about City, and before that, I was gonna talk about Nichijou, and then last year, I was gonna talk about Frieren, and then somewhere in between all of that, I ended up talking about only Boji the Rock. Making videos is hard, alright? I work hard, and by that I mean I watch a lot of videos from other people. I'm collecting reference material. This is gonna be worth it, okay? So give me a break. Here's a dumbass video about the most complex, complicated Giga Brain anime of 2025. Hi, me again. Ruri Rocks is a manga serialized in 2019, and it's pretty decent overall, or so I've been told. I have no time to read this. What, you think this is the Scholastic Book Fair? Fairly recently though, Ruri Rocks had gotten a lot more attention than it was probably used to, due to its anime adaptation made by Studio Bind of Mushoku Tensei fame, and that's it. They haven't made anything else, don't look it up. So, is that attention warranted? I mean, you tell me. Ruri Rocks starts with Goldilocks, who really likes shiny things, so she goes shiny hunting for shiny things. But, oh no, she finds a bodacious babe while wandering through the forest all by herself. All by herself. Yeah, that's a good idea. And oh no, she's tall, she has a big ass, hammer, and very importantly, is of legal age. It's weird. Just because of that last part, I feel like this anime shouldn't have been as popular as it is. This is Ruri Tanigawa, for some reason she's in the show's name. And this is Arata Nagi, a college student who's really tall. Like, what? Wait, actually I was joking about this, but Nagi's 6'3"? Oh wait, no, this is about a blue lock character. Well, that ain't what I fucking asked for. And the Does Nothing Useful award goes to the Google AI responses. Nagi and Ruri meet pretty early on in the anime and immediately establish a friendly, if weirdly trusting relationship. Like, you're telling me these two just met and now they're going on car trips together? How much time has passed exactly? Okay, so I did some research, and apart from the big ass hammer, Nagi's power has also involved time manipulation, so that explains a lot. As I just said, Nagi is a college student studying mineralogy at the University of some fucking place, where she spends all day looking at stuff, doing stuff, and not organizing her desk. Also, when I do that, it's called crippling unemployment, but when a pretty woman does it, it's a respectable career path in the sciences. That's it. Nagi's going in the F tier. Eventually, Nagi helps Ruri find that quartz deposit they were talking about in the beginning. Oh yeah, Ruri saw some pretty quartz at the store and decided to go hunting for quartz herself. What are you looking at? And thus begins her journey as a newfound aficionado through the introduction to mineralogy. That was bad. Ruri Rocks is incredibly pretty, and this is not some joke, I'm not fucking with you this time around. Unless. It's no joke, it's a very eye-catching anime. Every single episode has anywhere from 1 to sometimes 3 memorable set pieces that remind me very quickly this is an anime I'm meant to take seriously. I didn't know Studio Bind before this, but apparently they're well known for this stuff, so whoa, hey there! They knew exactly what they were doing here. Short hair, glasses, painted, undercut, bookworm, probably autistic. She's also always wearing waist-high pants. I mean, you tell me, man, I didn't make the anime, but hey, they knew something was up for sure. And here's Seto. She's alright. I need to break something for you guys real quick. Okay, I need to come clear with something. I am incredibly fucking biased. I know that might not seem like it given my overwhelming sense of humility, but it's true. And when it comes to anime, I am immediately drawn to things that don't make me think. Evidently, my favorite genre of anime is slice of life, through and through. Is it really because it doesn't make me think though, or is it because it portrays the meaningful connections in life I am just now starting to form? It could be anything. But like, even if I understand slice of life is probably the most bland and safe style of content out there, who am I to say no to Wendy's? For me, the clearly most important aspects of slice of life are how characters interact in between one another, given that's all they do for 24 episodes. But Ruri Rocks, even if through and through a slice of life, falls into a category that doesn't rely solely on it, in the same way as something like Lucky Star does, because surprise, you've been secretly roped into an educational anime, and it's actually really fucking good. People really like Ruri Rocks. It may initially seem like a brainless take, of course people do, look at the mal ratings, but it's not for the reason you might initially think. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to analyze some incredibly deep subversive hidden aspect of the series. If you watch the anime, it's very on the nose. It's like the main fucking thing that happens. The creator is an actual teacher, or so I'm told. I'm just taking the opportunity to gush about it because it resonates with me and I like it. While Ruri Rocks is primarily, I'd say, a slice of life, there's also this whole other side to it that suddenly needs to be very carefully considered. We need to take this education aspect and make it actually correct. So, they did. They did it pretty well, I hear, or so well I've had online friends who I've never guessed to be interested in geology come up to me and say, that's pretty well done. Now that is sick. That is incredible. I'm not joking. I really fucking like this. I love how Ruri Rocks puts genuine curiosity on a pedestal and makes it its central focus for all 13 episodes. If there's a word that describes this entire series, it would be ingenuity, which is fitting as that's like the main thing that defines any science. Ruri's eagerness and curiosity are not only the main driving points for the narrative, but they are also very relatable and respectable traits for anyone to have. It makes one of the best points for how learning is incredibly beautiful, and how we seem to forget that, especially when it's so easy nowadays with stuff like hustle culture being so prevalent, or the job market in general stomping any sort of desire for a fulfilling career when it's so easy for it to all go downhill. To forget that some of the most fulfilling aspects of life are, and have always been, the things you do for the pure, genuine love of it. It's a breath of fresh air, and even if not the most unique concept out there, it makes a convincing case for being the most striking, if still romanticized example of if you like doing it, then it's not wasted time. I also find it extremely comforting how every educational aspect in Ruri Rocks is about some of the most beautiful yet undervalued career paths in our society. Mineralogy, geology, history, archaeology. But even more so, it makes me excited that we've seen plenty of anime in the past directly influence people's lives beyond leaving a mark for how good they were. K-On! And Bocchi the Rock have inspired people to learn instruments and start bands. Blue Lock made people watch the World Cup. Haikyuu made people heavily interested in volleyball, especially during the Olympics. My senpai is annoying made people look for jobs. I wonder how that turned out. And like, we all know why this works. Fiction in general is often incredibly romanticized, and Ruri Rocks is no different. Which only makes it even more interesting that it was able to twist and morph something as initially off-putting as learning about rocks into one of my favorite anythings of the season. I don't care for this. I shouldn't care for this. Why do I do now? Why do I want to go out there in the middle of the night and sift sand to fight shiny glass? I know why this works. These characters are really good. Ruri symbolizes the eagerness of trying something new that you genuinely never thought you'd like. Nagi is a great mentor who people can perfectly see is shaping up for a brilliant future. Imari wants to help while also learning and indulging in her own interests, and even these two during the latter half of the anime come around to finally embracing mineralogy too, for two distinct reasons that are built upon all throughout the show. I just really hope the popularity of this anime is not just attributed to its visuals and fan service, but also for how it could possibly leverage people into these highly important if undervalued fields. Fields that value curiosity and eagerness and could lead to a fulfilling life full of discoveries and like-minded people. During the last episode, Nagi is revealed to have turned down a promising job offer because it didn't align with her views and what she wanted for her future. Despite the temptation, she wants to stick to becoming a college professor, because that's what drives her and fuels her sense of happiness. It's a very romanticized scene, one which most certainly would leave a lot of people yelling at their screens for how it seems like Nagi is just throwing this chance away, which even Imani remarks on, but that's exactly the message it's trying to convey. It could possibly be not smart, it is certainly not safe, but it feels truthful, genuine to who she is, and it's telling you to do the same thing. But that's the thing. You don't need to do the exact same thing as she did. You don't need to make it strictly about college or your life's calling or a job, but you need to make things true to yourself. I've noticed that over the last years, people online have become increasingly more scared. People are scared of being judged, mocked, being made fun of, or persecuted for who they are, their interests, and even more dangerous things that they can't change about themselves. I am guilty of this myself. I am incredibly self-conscious. I don't like my own voice, which is really hard when you have a YouTube channel. It takes a lot for me to think it's pleasant enough to listen to while editing, but I have also had plenty of people in my life tell me my voice is okay, it's pleasant, it sounds good, and if I was going to let my brain trick me into thinking otherwise, I would be throwing everything I've built over the last 4 years into the dumpster. That's when it comes into play that you should make your life worth living for yourself, and no one else can denounce you for that. Go do that thing, listen to that song, make that video about a topic you like, write, paint, communicate, share interests with people you like. No one else apart from us humans can do that to such an extent, and it makes me really sad that people are forgetting that this is what makes us us. It comes off as overly earnest and kind of childish given the context of our world, but it also stands that there's space for that. If you make that space exist within yourself, identity is non-negotiable, lest you purposefully throw it away and forget who you are. The show thrives on these small little declarations of personal convictions, from the very moment Ruri first tries looking for minerals to this point in the final episode, and I think that's nice. I personally am of the opinion that you shouldn't ever stop learning new things. Not only because it rewards your brain positively, but because it's just straight up fun. And who am I, the guy who defended online gambling as a joke, to denounce people having fun? Oh yeah, also, this entire scene happened while they were nude in a hot spring. Ruri Rocks drags you in with promises of mineralogy and women, over-delivers in both aspects, and leaves without saying a word. Imari says Nagi should dress differently, so she brings over some cute clothes for her to use. She does. Then she wears a maid outfit and does this. And then the scene ends. I know bangers. I know bangers. I know I've been joking about the fan service aspects of this anime for the entire video basically, so let's touch on that properly. I mean, it's whatever, honestly. Make no mistake, there will be points where you and the person next to you will be soy-jacking at each other and pointing at the screen while going back to see just exactly what you missed for 5 seconds before moving on. But I'm just gonna say it, for the levels anime typically stoops down to, I don't think it's overdone. Most of my enjoyment or tolerance for this sort of fan service comes off depending on how well or poorly the story surrounding it is. And in Ruri Rocks, I haven't felt like the time stuff like this happens really compares to some of the most egregious examples in anime, or even the simplest panty shot. I can sit here and joke around all day that these three having big naturals is extremely plot relevant, but at the end of the day, for me they could be looking like anything and I'd still find the anime relevant and interesting. I know I don't speak for everyone, and I know not everyone sees this as the anime going, hey, you're still there? Nagi's about to info dump. Oh yeah, while you're here, check this shit. I just see it as something that doesn't immediately kill my mood. If that's the way of catching people's attention, fine. I think Nagi is enough of a well-designed character, even if at a glance you couldn't pick her apart in a crowd, and while I think it makes for some unequivocally good moments in the anime, I don't think it would be worse or better off without it. Like, be for real, this is as bad as it gets, and surely you've seen worse than this out there. Should this be here? Debatable, sure. People said the manga didn't have this, and knowing the little bit I do about adaptations, I'd believe them. Does this make it the worst anime ever, deserving of incredibly harsh criticism and accusations under the mighty fist of the internet, because Nagi, a pretty woman of legal age, has some large naturals, doesn't abide by the exact laws of physics seen in real life, and wears tight jeans all the time? There's worse offenders out there. Having put all of that on the table, however, I think a lot of this is just funny. Mostly because of how weird stuff looks a lot of the time. Like here, and also here. Either someone at Studio Bind is taking AI references from Pinterest, or Nagi goes to work without a bra. Episode 13 of Ruri Rocks ends with what is either a setup for a future season 2, or a fitting conclusion for Ruri's coming of age arc throughout the series. And truly, both would be fine. It's a time skip of maybe 5 to 10 years, showing Ruri as a researcher, not even 10 minutes after they were just talking about the job market and finding your calling in life. A perfectly neat bow to cap off this entire series and the finale that Ruri's entire character arc was leading up to during the last 12 episodes. Credits roll, tears stream down my face. Guys? This is peak fiction. I just feel like I can't say good enough things about this anime. I mean, you know me. I'm a pretty low stakes guy. My favorite media is brainless slop or like 2 competitive games. And yet, here I am claiming that I have nothing negative to say about this anime that could possibly qualify as criticism. Well, no. I'm just choosing not to. It's my video, goddammit. If I say it's a 10 out of 10, then at least in my self-contained universe, it's a 10 out of 10. But yeah, I get it. Not everyone is giga-brained enough to understand the mineralogy. This is some high-tier stuff. It's more complicated than Evangelion. More complicated than Madoka Magica. Slice of Life is weird to make a video on for this exact reason. I feel like I should go more in-depth into criticisms about anime. What? I feel like I should go more in depth about criticism I and people have about this anime, but frankly I just kinda don't want to. I feel like it would both ruin my immersion, but also betray even if partially the slice of life category, or something, I don't know. I think it's just way too low stakes for me to care. I don't know, am I overthinking? I probably am. I should go down the slice of life route and turn off my brain. All in all, Ruri Rocks is Anime of the Year, that's right, I got you. Fuck solo leveling, fuck Don. No, you know, I couldn't possibly say that. Next up, hopefully, this! I don't know what it is about just yet. I'm gonna think of something, but hopefully this is the next episode. Hopefully.